Not muted. I already know. What's good? What's good? Now I'm not muted. I'm not. I already knew what it was. I was just playing my music, just just living it up as always. Oh man, not much going on. Sorry guys. I thought I would be doing a stream Wednesday and even yesterday, but I had a whole bunch of stuff going on that prepped me, and then as I got ready to do it all today, it got canceled. So I'm gonna be working on a few things. Doing a little bit of an early stream. I might do a later stream today, uh, just for the hell of it, because normally we do a little bit of an evening kind of thing going on. Damn, but we'll see. We we shall see. Outside of that, I'm just kind of prepping. I'm prepping for what the day might bring. To be honest with you, whether we are going to have a bit of a discussion for other stuff going on, I am thinking about. Sorry, I'm all over the place. I can't really figure out where I had things at. I'm trying to figure out exactly where am I going to have these conversations, things I've been working on, how the content's going to be moving, how we are all going to be moving as a space, and how people are going to be reacting to some of the things that I'm preparing for the future. Let's just put it that way. Um, I think the hardest thing for me right now has been not only just being online, not only just doing content, but also being consistent enough to say that I am also on streaming on multiple platforms, which has been very difficult because I've been like dealing with real life stuff. So therefore, I tend to really forget, um, and that's really what it is. I really tend to forget. So if I am not on particular programs, and it is what it is. Actually, let me think about since I'm saying the words is what it is. Let me go check my chat right now because I don't really. I'm on my thing on OBS, so I'm not really checking our browser. Let's see. Okay, let me go pull up my streamer bot. Oh, okay. We got So we got Locksmith Jeremy who's in it. I don't have my laptop up. Um, Locksmith Jeremy in the building, and we got No Chaser in the building as well. This thing is bothering me. I got a whole dentist appointment next week because one of my buttons. Um, I was brushing my teeth this morning, and a button came out. Let me see if you can see this. See that little thing right there? That's a button that came out of my off of one of my teeth, and here's the other one, and that one's still holding, but it's annoying the hell out of my mouth. I just got it yesterday, and it's already falling off. All I did was brush my teeth, and the shit fell off. Um, anyway, that's enough about my mouth. Pause. Um, but yeah, I've been back and forth, and I have been trying to figure out a lot of stuff that's going on in terms of content, that I want to prep for myself for new ventures. I've been diving back into some of my older books. I've been going through some of the stuff that's been here as well. Just a little bit of refreshing, and I've been really picking up on my book going through this one. I think this is probably the second, if not third time I'm going through this book. And I do have another book I just purchased. Whew. It's a it's a large one, but it's gonna be very very interesting. Outside of that, I mean we're just kind of chilling, but kind of go through it. I have stuff that I want to go through on social media. I'm not saying I'm gonna go through it now because I think those things have been really good in terms of like me just chilling on my own and reacting in shorts. I have been playing games, mainly Crimson Dawn. No, Crimson Dawn. Wow, where the hell did that come from? Crimson Desert, which has been the newest game coming out. But I really don't stream games. I kind of like just having my own personal time to just play games because I see what other people do when it comes to playing games, especially for games that have a narrative and a storyline, and people just want to run through to see what it is. And for that type of game, it's not really story based; it's more sandbox based. So I don't really want to get into that. I just kind of like just doing my own thing. Besides, I don't like feeling pressured for doing things that are on my time. You know what I mean? And that's what, and also the other thing as well is that the majority of you guys who are on our type of community, you want to say, most of you guys are not really. Let me say this: I don't think most of you guys are gamers. Just to be honest, I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but given what I've seen about the content, about the people, and about the channel, most of you guys are really not into gaming. So that's not something I try to present to you guys. Now I know that you guys know other content creators that when they're bored or they have nothing else to do, they will provide games to you. But I'm a person who's like kind of like a completionist. Like I need, if I play a game, I need to really go through it, really try to do everything that's in there. And I realize that that's not something a lot of you guys are really into. So I try not to bring you guys video games, not because it's not my thing, but because I don't really see you guys as gamers per se. That's just the way how I look at it. That's the only reason why I really don't bring a lot of my gaming to you, because I purchase games a lot and I play through them. I just don't play like really either mundane or very repetitive gaming, and it's very difficult as well because I have real life. But outside of that, let's get a little bit into. I'm trying to do a little thing right now. I'm a little off key. Most of you guys are watching me right now because I'm streaming horizontally, but I'm doing a little bit of a vertical recording myself just to see how things are turning out. Um, I thought my kick would kick in, kick kick in. Funny enough, but it's not. So I need to figure out why that's not working. Uh, I am. You know what? I have a couple of things in my mind for topics that I want to bring up, but I don't know how I want to introduce them per se. So I don't want to tell you what they are. I rather just do what I normally do. I just come up with a topic and I just drop it on you guys, and then we have the conversation in real time. You guys get your own thoughts, your own spin on it. But I do know there's a couple of them that I do want to bring up, and I know there are at least a couple of people who feel like they're experts in it or have a spin on it, and they might be surprised as to where it goes. Outside of that, it's just me being me. Um, so I feel like there was something else on my mind. I was reading this damn book and I got sidetracked. There was something else on my mind as well. Outside of that, I don't know what's been going on online. I haven't really been paying attention. I know I've been getting a lot of notifications from a lot of different creators that I do follow, and part of me wants to make part of me wants to make some kind of content when it comes to actual creators as well. Nothing in terms of this whole thing that you guys like to follow, the whole trolling DM. Not, I was about to say DMP, not really that, but the whole whatever the fuck space that you guys call it. Because I'm just really not interested in invested in these people. It's no disrespect to them. Just to be honest with you, it's no disrespect. I'm just not really interested in them. I have a whole life. I got other shit going on. There are things that really affect actual people in this world, and from what I see, what's going on, it's just not really. It's not it. It's not the it for me. I don't really care about who's looking at who's talking shit about who's suing who. I really don't care whatsoever. Yes, Panelverse. Thank you. I could not. I would rather watch Flies fuck. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Thank you for saying that. Well, that's you, Melanie. Yeah, I'd rather watch Flies fuck. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't want to hear no more about men shit. I don't want to hear no more about the dynamics between men and women. I don't want to hear no more about politics. I don't want to hear any more about Andrew Wilson. I don't want to hear no more about whatever. Honestly, I just if it's really not beneficial to people's lives, there's no sense in me looking at it. To be honest with you, and again, it's not to be disparaging of the people who do it because everybody's very good at what they. Well, not everybody. There are people who are very good at what they do and they make their time off of it. But I'm like, if there's no end game, if there's no goal outside of the immediate, it's kind of useless. It's it's useless because here's the truth of the matter. And this is the way I've been from the beginning. I rather not make fluff content, or rather fast food fast food content for you guys not to get anywhere. My thing has always been about human behavior, how we can do things for each other, how we can have real constructive conversations, how we can benefit from each other, what we can learn to push ourselves to the next level. But a lot of people just want to be stuck in just popping open a bag of fast food content, getting fat off of it, and then they're complaining about their heart rate later. The idea of people getting online just to get enraged by what somebody does or what somebody says, and then that being the all and be all of everything. It's like you realize like the one thing that you have right now you're wasting a lot of time on, and that is time. Time. Now, I get it. If you don't really feel like you have much going on in life, which is sad because I think you really should reevaluate your life. But if you really feel like you don't have much going on in your life and you feel like this is the thing that really fulfills you, ah, you do what you want to do. I think there's more to life, to be honest with you. I really, really think. What's going on, so? Oh, Lynn's in here as well. I think there's more to life. I think there's so much, like, people say, like, you need to go out and touch grass. But I keep seeing more and more and more people popping up in a chair to sit in than going out and actually doing things. And I'm finding myself going out more in order to, even if it's like a 10-minute walk, I find more fulfillment in that than sitting here all goddamn day long to sit around and say, how can I disagree with somebody really over something that nobody really cares about and no one's gonna really change, and you're not changing anything either. Like it really doesn't matter. Tomorrow seems more interesting to me than the bullshit that's already been happening yesterday, last week, last month, last year, and you're hearing about it today, and it's gonna happen tomorrow. There's more to life. Oh, I'm happy you said it. There is more to life, but enjoying this moment also counts for something. But here's the thing. It's one thing to say enjoying this magic moment. It is one thing to say you want to enjoy this moment, but when this moment is also something that you can see next week, next month, it, it's a it comes to a point where some of these people are having moments that always come up. The thing about opportunity is that you're not supposed to know when the opportunity is really there for you or if the opportunity is really for you. Let me say it again. You don't really know if the opportunity is gonna show up, or really, even if the opportunity is really yours to take advantage of. Now, the problem with it being online is that you know that these very topics are gonna come up frequently, habitually. So you know the opportunity is going to be there. It's not momentary. It's not something that you need to seize the day on. You know it's coming. So all you gotta do is prep and wait. Now, it's a difference between in real life, you're just prepping and you really don't know when the opportunity is gonna come up. You're just building your skills, and when the opportunity is gonna come, you're prepared. In this, most people are just sitting there with their own ideologies. They're not even really prepping, to be honest with you, but they know it's coming. How fun is life when you know shit is already gonna happen? How fun is life is that? I just, what the fuck? If you knew you was gonna get the girl or the guy, how fun would life be? If you knew you was gonna get the job, how fun would life be? If you knew exactly what the person was gonna say, how your friends were gonna behave, how your kids were gonna, what fun would life be? It's the unexpected that makes life interesting. It's being able to look backwards and connecting the dots to where you are today that makes life interesting. When we start looking at content where we're just like, I know it's gonna come up. It may not have come up the time that I wanted it to come up, but I know it's gonna come up next time. I know me being in the gym. I know this. Life is gonna give me another set, and I'm a rocket. Or I came in late that last one, so all I need to do is make sure that if I pay attention next time, it's gonna come up again. Not because I'm hoping it'll come up again, but because just look at the history. It always comes up. It's a common staple. It's a common food group. Everybody's gonna keep eating chicken. So you might get new people who come on and have these conversations, but it's the conversation that we have seen from many and multiple faces. It's not new. It's just a new mouth saying it. So this is the reason why, as much as I like having conversations with people in real life and online, the moment I keep hearing what everybody else has already regurgitated, and you think that you're saying something fucking new, when you're just a new mouthpiece. You're just a new mouthpiece. You're like one of these street performers that believe that you got game. You're saying the same pickup lines that someone else has already fucking said. I'm just gonna keep it a buck with you. Oh, I heard that from Joe down the street, but you thought it was coming from you because you said it. No, I heard him say it before. It didn't work for him, but you think it's gonna work for you? And then it's also the people that fact that, let's keep it a buck, they don't really understand communication. Worse, they get stuck in ego, especially when they do ego and they're talking about Jesus. Because the moment I start seeing a whole bunch of people start touting and all I see is ego in play, I go, I know what ego stands for. Edging God out. That's what it stands for. And whether I am on a panel, thank goodness I'm not really on a panel like that. But I can sit there in the chat and just be like, you don't see what you're doing? You don't see that the thing that you're trying to call other people out for, you're already doing. You, sir or madam, are a hypocrite. You are. I you said what? You said it sounds like the Iran war is going on in your background. I don't even know what that means. Honestly, I couldn't. People not gonna like it. I couldn't give two shits about the Iran war. I couldn't care less. I don't. The war. There's no place. There's no time that I can think of that doesn't have war happening. It's a soundboard. But like, honestly, like, there's no place that doesn't have something going on. There's conflict always happening in the world. So I'm not worried about it. All I can be responsible is for the time that I'm in and the place that I'm in. That's all. That is all. I'm not worried about any of the other stuff. Which is why when I talk about the internet, right? How we move in communication, how we move in philosophy, right? A lot of people are philosophizing their way all over the place, but the truth of the matter is that they really haven't stuck their nose long enough in a goddamn book. And I'm listening to some of these people and I'm just going, if you are as smart, if you are as intellectual, because that seems to be the hit fucking word to use since like 2024 all the way to now, like the intellectual. If you are such a prominent figure that should be listened to, why is it you can only make very few references to make the fucking claims that you make? How, if you are so smart, how come you can only reach as far as to very specific instances to make your point? So if you want to make a point to illustrate something that's very easy and digestible for common folk, why would you reach to the Bible? Why would you do that? Well, no, no, no. Well, I'm not talking about the Bible. No, you're talking about the Bible. You mentioned the Bible. You mentioned characters within the Bible. You mentioned time periods within the Bible. If you are as smart as you claim to be, you should be able to bring it to a common reference that everybody can be able to understand. It's just that simple. And the truth of the matter is that the people who do this thing, no, no, I can do it. Okay, cool. Here's your opportunity. Do it. Please do it. Instead of actually doing it, now they'll pick an argument. They'll pick a fight. Well, I know you understood what I was saying, and I shouldn't have to do it. I'm not here for you. And I'm just going, oh, so you said absolutely nothing. Nothing. You couldn't illustrate your point because now you were given an opportunity and you could not do so because why? You haven't really thought about anything. All you've been doing is practicing. You've been preparing for a discussion. It's not really you. All you've been doing is practicing. Practicing. You've been practicing. It's not really your mentality. It's not really your belief. It's not really your mindset. All you've been doing is regurgitating and practicing off of what you either heard somebody else say. No, that's pretty much it. It's not even really a or. You've been practicing off of what somebody else say. Maybe one day you were sitting there and you were doing this. You was in the chat like everybody else. You was doing this. That's crazy. That's crazy. Nah, I don't agree with that. And you heard somebody else say something that you agreed with, and then the opponent didn't challenge it and let it slide. And you thought, that's a W. That's A1. Let's go. I'ma use that. And therefore you're stuck. Because now you use that on other people, right? And then when they challenge you on it, you're like, I didn't get that far. I don't. It's like Mormons knocking on your door. Once they're inside, they're surprised because they're expecting you to turn them away. They didn't expect to actually get inside. Yeah, just come inside. Fuck it. Just come inside. What you want? What you want now? They're like, honestly, can we get a drink of water? We didn't expect that you were actually gonna invite us in. Hey, Jonathan, can you get the books ready? He's like, I didn't. Honestly, I thought we were just gonna be knocking door to door. I didn't expect we were gonna be inside. I didn't pack all the books. I thought it was gonna be like the same Tuesday we had last week and the same Tuesday we had last month. You know. You know what? Get your shit together. You know what? You guys want beer? You guys want water or something? Just get this shit. Like, can we just get over it? Tell me why you think it's gonna be great for me. And they're like, oh well, Resla, Jesus loves you. This I know, 'cause the Bible tells me so. Here's your water, here to go. Don't drink it fast, no, drink it slow. Get the fuck out here. Get the fuck out of here. 'Cause you're unprepared. You're only prepared for the small shit that you're prepared for. When something new happens, you're not ready. Because you haven't done the actual work yourself. You're running off of prescripts. You don't do actual deep diving and scenarios in which you put yourself in. You're already thinking you know all the scenarios that's going to take place. You said, thank you, Captain Obvious. If it was so obvious, then why are people still fucking struggling on it, Blind? I literally saw this recently, not on the last stream, but I saw this recently, literally on Sarah the Raging Tomato. So many people just dropping the fucking ball because instead of fucking just doing what they had to do and just really just being in good faith and actually having a conversation, they were reaching for the Bible. And then my black ass from the chat sent a whole super chat and everything and saying, motherfuckers is wildin'. Why are you reaching for the Bible? You couldn't make another fucking point. Oh, I'm not reaching for the Bible. And even Sarah had to call them out. She was like, all the instances you made have been from the Bible. If you didn't need to make it and the conversation wasn't about God, thank goodness for once, why did you reach for the Bible? Because people don't, because here's the thing. How can you argue with Sky Daddy? If you can't prove him wrong, you can't prove I'm wrong. It is a huge fallacy. To me, if you have to hide behind a fucking book, you are a loser. If you have to hide behind a book, if you are not smart enough, if you are not capable enough, if you are not articulate enough, and you have to hide behind a fucking book, someone else's words, someone else's texts, you are a fucking loser. You're not as smart as you claim to be. You are fucking dumb. And I'm sorry if some of y'all in the chat are like this. No, that's not me. But if you notice that if I say a particular thing, because I'm one of those fucking people, by the way. I'm one of those people that I'm very deadly, by the way. I don't like getting into it, especially about Bible talk. Because I'm one of those people that I was born. I was raised. I'm like, Bane. I was raised in Christianity. I was born in Christianity. I did every Sunday. I was born in Sunday school. I was sitting in the pulpit. I sang in a church choir. I was that guy. And then when everything was crumbling in my life in my early fucking teens, I was told to do one thing from my very pastor. Said, read this book. The answers you'll see is in it. And as hard as that book was to read, because you know it's not in the proper English, it was a King James Bible, by the way. I read it from cover to cover. I've told this story plenty of times. And when I went from cover to cover and I finished it, here was my words. End of this. Most people who I even speak to, who claim to be such Bible thumpers, have never finished the book. They cherry pick, they highlight, they dog ear, but they've never actually made it to the end of the fucking book. But we'll talk to you about so much shit. And I say, hey, pick your favorite verses. That's all right. Because the sad part about it is that back then, when I got told to read the fucking book versus now, is that the internet wasn't a thing back then. Back then, all we had was Yahoo and AOL. Now, we got everything under our belt. You can't hide from me. You can't hide from my challenges in real time. You can't. Me, when I start talking to people and they're like, well, this is what it is and this is how it was, I'm like, I'm happy that you said that. Hold up. And I start hitting Google. I start hitting Bing. I start hitting a fucking Chat GPT like it's a motherfucking Jubilee fucking episode. I will catch you in real time. You're not gonna hide from me. You're not gonna hide from me. I'll do it. Hey, I love that you said that, but this is what you said last time, and this is what I just looked up. I'm not gonna let you get away. Whole episode gone and come back next time and say, whoa, that thing you said last time, no, I'm gonna catch you in the same fucking show. Well, actually, what you said was this, and I just looked it up right now, and if anybody wanna look it up, I just put it in the back chat, because I'm on their platform. I'll put it in the back chat, so if you want, we can just call it out right now. So what you got to say now? What you got to say now? Huh? No, those were your words. Those were your words, and now I just fact checked you. I just fact checked you. Well, I don't understand why you were so quick on fact checking me. You know why? Because a motherfucker like me worked for places like Quora, work for places like Reddit, work for places where we constantly cannot just take what people say on a regular basis. That it needs to be challenged. And I'm not the quickest person for doing it. Because I have to hear your bullshit and think that it's something that needs to be challenged. I don't just challenge everything because I'd be fucking exhausted. But if I hear something that just sounds shaky, I do my research. And this is, by the way, folks, something that already knows me for. I don't claim to be an expert in anything. But the one thing that I'm pretty talented with and that I spend a lot of time cultivating is my observation. My listening, it's a little above average, but my observation is pretty much on it. And a lot of people spend more time practicing what they're saying rather than understanding what they're saying. They can tell me about the books that they read, but if you go back and you ask them a question, they can't tell you what they read within the book. That's important. Imitation is a lot online. Imitation is disgustingly high online. What are you guys saying in the chat here? Becca in the chat, Lindsay in the chat. Which one of you is a know-it-all? Oh, there's a lot of people that's a know-it-all. Harbor Freight. What's going on, Harbor Freight? With the $1.99. Appreciate you. You said because people are dumb in your opinion? I mean, I don't think people are dumb. I think average people are not dumb. Here's the issue that a lot of people don't want to run into. And I've done enough research on this, and we could probably go through it at some point. Blind, you're someone I'm thinking about having a conversation with about this. Technology. Average people are average. Average people are not dumb. Now, as the times go forward, as the clocks move forward, we're not as smart as we used to be. Just gonna be honest with you. We're not as smart as we used to be because technology has made us lazy. And it's been like that since the industrial age all the way to the technological booms, all the way to the age that we have now. It is easier to rely on technology than it is to recall things. Honestly, I can remember my phone numbers on both my phones, but I struggle still to this day. I've been with my girlfriend for a little over 9 years now, and I still struggle to remember her phone number. But I can remember my phone numbers because this phone here has been with me for over a decade. This phone has been with me for under a decade. She's been with me for almost a decade, and I still can't remember her phone number. I still can't. And by the way, it's the same thing with her. She still struggles to remember my phone number. And keep in mind, I came from an age, because I'm an early millennial. So I come from an age where we had address books. How many are old enough to say that you remember address books? I'm old enough where we needed to remember people's names. Well, we still had something called a Rolodex. How many I remember those? How many I remember Rolodexes? Literally, small cards you flip through because you kept all the shit written down on it. I came from that time. So I'm in a weird part of my life. I'm in a weird spot because I can understand what it was like not having the internet and then coming into the internet and then growing up with the internet. and then seeing people who only came up after the internet. So, Blind, I understand your point where you're saying, you think people are not as smart in your opinion, but I think people are plenty smart. It's just the fact that technology has taken away agency. There are plenty of people who are still smart. It's just like it's just that intelligence is utilized in a different way now. Now, do I think they intelligence used a different way that doesn't require a whole lot of memorization, and unfortunately, that's the thing that's biting us in the ass. Technology has replaced a lot of things that we use as common links for communication. For instance, writing, actual writing. These are things that are also a problem as well. You said you miss phone books. See, I don't miss phone books. I don't miss big ass because you used to get back then. You used to get two phone books. By the way, you got the white pages and the yellow pages. Those are two big ass books. I don't miss those. I do not miss those big ass books. The only thing I ever thought that should be that thick was a fucking was a basically a dictionary back then. I did not like. I never liked combing through a white pages or the yellow pages. I never enjoyed it. And keep in mind, it was back then when you had to you look for jobs that way. By the way, I that was back time when you had to look for jobs. You were looking for. That's how you found your That's how you found your hiring managers. I'm talking about back in the days when I first started going to work, when I first started looking for work as a young teen. This is back before people started using the internet and you could just start using job searches online. This is back in the days where you had to walk into a job, not knowing if they were hiring or not, and you had your resume in hand. You did walk-ins. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. Walk-ins asking if they were hiring. Didn't have to say a hiring on their front door. You walked in and you asked them if they were hiring, whether they were a low mom and pop place all the way to a big tech company. You were walking in and you were handing them your freaking resume. You were going to the front desk and say, "Hey, are they hiring?" I don't know. And the security guard or the our HR person or whoever would take your resume and they would pass them off to the person and they would go to the proper areas you need to go at. By the way, this is the old jobs of you even working in a place where you had to be the mail person that went over and dropped the mail over at everybody's place. This was something that was called sneaker netting. I used to do this before. I used to work as a mail person in a company where they said, do not wear shoes, do not wear boots, wear sneakers. Your feet's going to be hurting. And we would deliver mail, several flights to everybody. I worked in the mailroom. It was called sneaker netting. You were networking, but you were always on your feet, pushing mail, walking mail from every floor to, and you had to get all your shit right. You were in the office, you were in a building rather, but it would be no different from you working like a USPS worker. You could see job. Yeah, I agree. You could see job opportunities in the newspaper. They were regular postings, not just advertisements. They were postings. Those were the. I'm not saying those were the days like they were good days, but those are days that a lot of people do not understand that exist today. They don't get it. When I see young people today and they say I'm physically exhausted and I had because I literally had to get up and I literally went throwing my resume in jobs, I'm like, somebody gave you that ideal. Somebody gave that's not common today. Someone gave you that ideal to print your resumes and to walk into jobs, walk into industries and offer it up. Someone gave you that ideal because that's not common today. It's not. I'm not even saying I miss it because you were literally throwing shit against the wall. But at the same time, at a time now where we have so many ghost jobs, we have so many opportunities that pretend like they're there, but they're really absent for HRs and recruiters who are just now pulling through the best applicants they can possible, but they really don't want to choose. they have how you call it? They have too many opportunities, so they can't choose. It was easier back then to run across your hiring manager, to run across your uh to run across it was easier to run across a CEO. It was easier to run across a vice president. I There was one job that I went to. I literally ran into the vice president on a lunch break. He was on his lunch break. I was going back and forth. I was putting in applications in a place. This is way early. My stepdad wanted me out the house. He wanted me to get a job, and I legit had I just stopped to go get something to eat because I would like because getting a job is basically having a job. Looking for a job is like having a job. I was out there for a while, and I went into a place where I just ate a salad. I was eating a salad, and they were just eating. They were just talking about, and they were mentioning. He was talking about other people, and he was mentioning what was going on, blah blah. And they mentioned the company that they were at, and I was like, I literally just walked at that building, and I this also, by the way, this is where confidence came in because either you had it or you didn't, and you just walk up and you be like, "Hey, how's it going? So and so, I'm Wrestler. What's going on? How's everything going? Oh, I just heard that you were. I'm sorry to bother your lunch or anything. I just heard that you was yeah. And what department are you working in? I'm sorry. I just walked out of there. I'm trying to look for a job or whatever. Here's my resume or whatever. Da, da, da. I'm sorry for bothering you. I know you're in your lunch break, whatever. In fact, let me buy a drink on you. I said on you, by the way, but they would understand. I would buy a drink for them. It was like three people at the table, by the way. I bought a drink for them. They weren't drinking alcohol, so it was easy for me. Now I bought them all a drink, and but that was the way how you either got yourself in or you got a call back or whatever. Networking was Networking was different back then. Networking was all when somebody looked you in your fucking face. When they looked you in your face and they did this, it meant something. When you shook their hand, it meant something. It meant something. Now, people don't want to touch hands no more. Not because of COVID or anything like that, but because you don't know who's gonna be judgmental about what. You don't know who's gonna be judgy about what. And in fact, the last time I shook a man's hand, right? He shook my hand very lightly, and I had too much pressure on him, and I stopped. And then he shook my hand with pressure, and it was kind of weird because like we didn't like have a strong shake or like I shook his hand, but it was kind of hard. But then I let go, and then he shook my hand kind of hard, and we just kind of laughed. But it was awkward, and I walked some people like a Spanish guy I walked up to. I was like, "Hey, what's going?" I came in like myself. I came in not like this, but I had my leather, and I came in, and people were looking at me. They were lined up for jobs. They were sitting there lined up. I came in 10 minutes before the interview. I walked in like this. I said, "Hey, how's it going? Uh, hey, here for the 10 a.m. Yeah, name's Wrestler." She's like, "Okay, cool, okay, okay. You need to fill this out." I said, "Ooh, I gotta fill out this stuff. How long is it gonna take me to fill it out?" She's like, "It might take you about 10 minutes." So I got 10 minutes before the interview. I said, "What's your name?" She's like, "I'm Caitlin." "Hi, Caitlin. Can you do me a favor? Just tell me what's the most important parts that I gotta fill in right now. I could fill in the rest of it when I'm in the interview. I just need the key parts that I need to figure out. And let me know just help me out with that. And I promise you, I will even buy you lunch." She's like, "Let me get that." And she marked up. She just did a quick boop, 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 boop. She put all the little points that she thought was very important for me to fill out. She said, "The other stuff, they're gonna figure it out. You just put the." I said, "Thank you, you're a doll." I sat down, crossed my leg, doop, filled that out, filled that out, filled it out. Literally, by the time I was finished, I had about 1 minute left. Got called in, Wrestler. Walked in. She's like, "Good luck." I said, "Don't need luck. You're on my side." Went in there, had a whole fucking conversation. Shit was good. They looked at me like, just give me a moment. They opened the door, saw all these motherfuckers sitting here with suits and ties and shit. Saw me in a leather jacket, fucking shirt, t-shirt, leather jacket. They saw me with fucking Converse on, but I had a pair of chinos on. I had a pair of chinos. And they said, okay. Was there something wrong? I said, what you mean there's something wrong? Everybody else came a little bit prepared. I said, I know. Imagine how much time they spent on themselves. I want to make sure that all my time is spent on you, not spent on how I look, because you care about my productivity. You don't care about how cute I look. You're not trying to take me to bed. You're trying to take me to task. They just did a quick chuckle. I said, honestly, you can look at me, look pretty and prepped up every day after you hire me. After you hire me. Right now, I'm all about time. My time is important, and your time is important. Because I'm not just here for you. You're also here for me. How are you doing? How do I know you're going to be good enough for me? Now, if you want me to look pretty, we can talk about that after I'm hired. And they were like, okay, tell us about yourself. I said, about me or about what I've done? And they were like, you know what? Since you mentioned it, tell us a little about you. And I broke it all down. And then they were like, okay, so tell us what you've done. I've done this, I've done that, I've done this and that. But that's not the best part about all of it. They were like, what's the best part about all of it? Is that I haven't even done all the stuff that you want me to do yet. Because all the stuff that you want me to do is all the stuff that I haven't touched yet. But everything I just told you let you know that just how capable I am. I am that guy you're looking for. Well, I mean, you haven't really done any of this other stuff. Why should we believe that you can do all this stuff? I said, because you know what I already know, what everybody already knows, but nobody will already admit. With enough time, there's nothing that anyone can't learn. Well, we only want people who experience this program. Well, how did they experience that program if they didn't already work for the company? What did you first learn about? Did you develop the program? No. So you had the time to actually learn about it, right? Yeah. Well, you said that you're a master at it. Yeah. With everything I just told you right now, do you think I wouldn't be a master at it? Um. Well, no. So if I told you I worked through multiple complex systems, that I wrote scripts myself, I've led multiple teams, and that I'm an ambitious motherfucker, especially when you piss me off. Why are you slacking on me? Do you honestly believe that those guys who spent an hour or two getting ready? I mean, look at the motherfucker who had a moose in his hair. Look at it. Look at that. Look, the guy. Look at the guy who's here. He looks good in his suit, but did you look at his shoes? He hasn't taken care of his shoes in a while. Now I guarantee you, when I walk in this bitch, when you hire me, keep in mind what I said. When you hire me, and I walk in this bitch, you're gonna be surprised because you're not gonna think this is the guy that I hired. This is the guy that I saw. When you see me dressed up, you're gonna go, I didn't know he looked that good. God, I want to fuck him. He looked good. He smelled good. And he's confident. I thought he was talking shit when he was in leather. Now that I see him dressed the fuck up, good to the T, hard bottoms and all, Not gonna lie. If I have a daughter, I think he's good enough for my daughter. And that's not just me talking shit about myself, but that's how confident I am when I walk into a place. I don't walk in like I don't walk in like I own the job, like I already have the job, but I walk in like whoever the hell you're looking at, just send them home. All you have to do is focus your time on me. Because what I don't know, there's no problem me learning it. This is why they call it on the job training, right? Everybody always runs into something that they can't learn. The question is, do you believe I can't learn it? Look at me in my motherfucking eyes and tell me that I can. I will prove you wrong. In fact, I might be able to do it better than you can. Try me. Tell me what I can't do. I have literally had to go through so much shit that you don't even fucking realize. And we could talk about that over one day, over a drink or over a lunch or whatever. But there's no way in hell you're gonna tell me that I can't do whatever the fuck you think it is that you're doing. Because the only difference between you and me is time. It's time. And that's something we both share. And if you're my manager, I'm going to learn it faster. Because you know why? I'm going to harass the shit out of you. And you have no choice but to acknowledge me. So do you want someone who's going to be able to make your life easier? Or someone that you always have to keep watching over your fucking shoulder because you're always going to wonder if they're doing the job or not? You let me know. Which one is it? And typically, I don't have to. I'll be honest with you. Most job interviews I'm on, I rarely ever have to be this pompous. Rarely. Normally, I say what I gotta say, and they go, because most of the time I have to get past recruiters. That's the daunting part, getting past recruiters, because most of the time recruiters don't know what the fuck it is that you're doing. They know they have to pass you along to the people that need, but they don't even know what the fuck your quality. They don't know your job. They don't. And you got to be nice. You got to be like, hey, yeah, I interview the recruiters. I interview the recruiters. Hey, yeah, this is what I've been doing. This is what I see the interviews for. The job qualifications for this. Could you do me a favor? Hi, yeah, I'm Resla. Um, could you tell me what is your experience with the actual job posting? Yeah. That how long have you been recruiting for this position? What exactly is your understanding of the role in question? Most of y'all, I get so frozen up. It's my opportunity. I don't want to fuck it up. But the people don't even fuck. The people who are asking you for your qualifications don't even understand the roles. Don't understand the responsibilities that you're looking for. You have to question them. Tell me what's your understanding of the job. Well, and they're looking now at this point. They're looking at the fucking what the hell's over my camera. They're looking at the resume. They're looking at the posting, not the resume. They're looking at the posting and the well, we're looking for and uh, how about this? How about this? Do me a favor. You know who the hiring manager is, right? Like yes. Tell me what the hiring manager says that they're looking for. Let me do this because this is driving me nuts. I don't know what's going on here. I think it's the light because it's sunlight. Uh, I'm like, tell me what the hiring manager is looking for. Well, the hiring manager is looking for. That's the one thing you can say about recruiters. When you're hiring as a hiring manager, you put down the criteria of what you're looking for. They take that, summarize it, and they put it out as a bulletin, giving you a little bit of game for those who don't know. They put out as a bulletin, and then people are the HR reps are reading off basically bullet points. They don't really get everything the person's looking for. They're getting bullet points unless they literally are having a one-on-one conversation with the hiring manager. It's all bullet points. That's literally what it is. This is the reason why I prefer, as much as a pain ass it is, I prefer working as a contractor than I do working as a full time employee because I like getting paid per task. This thing is driving me nuts. Hold on, let me do something about this because that that shifting is really getting on my nerves. So let me change it right now. I'm gonna go manual. Here we go. Cool. So yeah, what is the hiring manager looking for? Most people don't really pay attention to that. And then if they're really in one-on-one contact with the hiring manager could tell them everything they need to know. But also that when they say, "I think I have a candidate that's looking for you," but he or she said they want to know exactly what you're looking for. Are you looking for someone who's going to be doing this, or someone who's going to be doing that, or you're looking for someone who's going to replace you? That's a question that also a lot of people do not ask. Hey, how long is it? You've been on one-on-one contact with the hiring manager, right? How long have they been in the field? Oh, the hiring manager, they've been in the field for about 27 years. 27 years. Wow, they really you better remember they must be really knowledgeable. Oh yeah, yeah. Craig, he's really knowledgeable. Didn't know his name was Craig. Now I know his name is Craig. Like, okay, cool. Tell me a little bit about Craig. What would you say he's a very by the books person? Would you say he's very lenient? Would you say he's very energetic? I'm looking for adjectives now. Is he energetic? Is he lenient? Is he strict? Tell me a little bit about your knowledge about him. Now, keep in mind, they don't have a lot of knowledge because they're HR recruiters versus the hiring manager, but they have to gauge what they do understand about it in order to know what they're looking for in a candidate. And they're giving up free information. This is a little bit of psychology, folks. Just a little bit. It's a little bit of manipulation, by the way. This is a little bit what we call compliance. What people don't realize is that every day, every time you're having a conversation back and forth with somebody, somebody's doing a little bit of compliance. A little bit. The question is, who's lockstepping with who? So, for instance, something very important. For those of you who have friends, right, who hang out with friends, I mean, actually hang out with friends, not talk on the phone, not do emails, not playing video games. For those who actually hang out with your guys and your gals, right? I want you to. I'm going to give you a little bit of a test right now. You don't worry about it right now. Just the next time you're with them, a little bit of a test. When you guys are walking with one another, right? Whether it's going to the movies, going to lunch, whatever. When you're walking with your friend, when you're walking side by side, something happens that's unconscious. Either you're walking at their pace or they're walking at your pace. Ask yourself a question. Whose pace is the person walking to? Are you walking to theirs or are they walking to yours? That person is the leader of that destination. A lot of people won't think about that. Either they're walking to your pace or you're walking to theirs. It's unconscious, but a lot of people don't think about it. Someone's doing more listening and someone's doing more talking. Someone's walking at a faster pace and someone's trying to keep up. Happens a lot. Most people don't pay attention to it. Just saying. Someone's a leader, someone's a follower. I agree. Now, keep in mind, when I say someone's a leader and someone's a follower, that doesn't mean someone is better than. But it means someone is now taking the lead of the situation. And by the way, someone can also lead from behind. I do this with a lot of my ladies. There are some ladies that when I walk with them, they walk behind me because they choose to be in that role. There are some ladies, when the streets get very big, when it gets very populated and we have a lot of oncoming traffic, I push them ahead of me. They're not leading me. I'm pushing them ahead of me so I don't have to look behind. I'm leading from behind. Because now they keep looking back to make sure that I'm there. They're making sure that they don't lose track of me. Not the other way around. Something to think about, folks. These are just very small, very subtle tactics. But a lot of people are not thinking about it. It's very unconscious. What you guys are saying? Oh, Hank is in the building. What's going on, Hank? Harbor, you said he should make a new channel doing different job interviews. Who should make me? Shit. What's going on, Hoover? Thank you. Hey, Hank called it out. That's why I like contract jobs. Getting paid and being able to leave when you're fucking finished is a great opportunity. Because here's the truth of the matter. I've worked for corporate for a while in my life. And when you're done with your job, when you're finished for the day, if you have 4 hours left, you're stuck in that building just waiting for shit to happen. Not waiting for something good to happen. You're sitting here for 4 hours doing this. You're hoping nothing happens. You're hoping bullshit doesn't happen. You're praying nothing happens. You just want to go. You don't need to be 8 hours in any company. I'll be honest with you. If I could work 5 to 6 hours, I'm good. And I mean that's in total with the commute. If I could work 5, 6 hours, I'm good. I don't need to be there for 8. Damn for sure don't need to be there for a fucking whole 16 if someone else is not gonna come. It's just, it's not a thing. It should never be a thing. The whole 24-hour 8. No, stop. That's not a thing. That should not be a thing. It just shouldn't be a thing. Time is the most important thing, and I get it. Some people want to spend all their time to get all the money that they can, and then they wonder why they're so broken down at the end of the day. I'm not really with it. What's good, Grump? It's just not. It's not really a thing that's. It's not beneficial for society. It's not beneficial for our society. I get it. They want to do the whole worker bee kind of thing, and I know time and employment is just really rough right now. But it was never a good system to begin with. The fact that we're still running off of the whole industrialized system in 2026 is ridiculous. You want to get rid of people who want to work from home, but at the same time, you want to hire a bunch of AI assistants. Eat a dick. Honestly, I get it as the employer as well, but yeah, you're doing too much. You're also doing too much. Because if you're gonna say like you're gonna start laying a whole bunch of people off, don't do it to the people who actually you are hiring to actually be at home. Because you don't require them to be in your job. I mean, look at people who are AI agents, virtual assistants. Why would they ever need to be in your fucking facility? Honestly, here's the truth of the matter. If I was a wholesale distributor, right? If I was a wholesale distributor for booze, alcohol, why do I need a brick and mortar? Tell me where you live. I could do Amazon or whatever, and they can deliver the fucking booze for you. You can order from my website, from my stock. The people will come over, pick it all up, and drive it to you. Why do I need a brick and mortar for that? By the way, this is how people from Amazon has been getting paid. Amazon wholesalers, they've been getting paid for a long time. They don't hold on to any physical stock. So if I am a virtual cloud assistant, virtual agent, why do you need me inside your job? Why? For fucking what? You want me to get out of my bed, get out of my pee? No one is ever good. I can walk around with my laptop, essentially, allegedly, and answer the needs of all your users that I have on my docket with my dick swinging in my kitchen. Why do you need me at work? Why do you need to see my face? You're not paying me to see my face. You're paying me for the results that I'm giving you. That's just a question. Now, if I had a job like I was a coach, I am a counselor, like I get it. And to an extent, like, cause honestly, coaches and counselors, coaches and counselors, there is a degree of physical presence that's needed because people just move better when you have people who are there physically. What businesses have you started? I have businesses. Rockefeller. Go talk to your boy Gatsby, since you two are not in sync with each other, but you guys ask the same questions. Because Gatsby's also asking this kind of stuff too. So the same way how Gatsby has businesses, so do I. I've got two of them, by the way. Not that you needed to know that. And I'm not hiring, by the way. I love how people how people will also be like, oh, well, you know what? If you have a business, then that means you can do content creation all day. All day. No, you can't. You're too fucking busy. When I didn't last, not even last year, 2024, when I didn't have my businesses, I could do content fucking 5 days, 6 days a fucking week. Now that I got much, I can't. I cannot do it. I'm too fucking busy. Like, this is why I'm like, when you guys catch, oh, wrestler, I haven't seen you in a while. You've been gone. You've been gone for a minute. Yeah, I was gone for a minute, but I'm back now. So sit the fuck back down. Cause you gotta do what you gotta do. Cause at the same time, I keep telling you guys, this shit doesn't pay me. If it wasn't, I wasn't even on Wednesday. I wasn't on Thursday because shit was popping off. And then an appointment that I had today got canceled. Why you're seeing me online right now? Because I got the energy. If I was getting paid to do this, one, it would be another business. It would be another business. But then I would be on all the time. You would see me 5, probably 6 days. I'm not lying. No, I'm lying. I'm lying. You probably catch me 4 days on, because I like my 3 days off to figure shit out, to sort shit out, to see other people, for me to relax, for me to ideate. I would do all that stuff. You would probably get me 4 days a week, to be honest with you. If this was a full-time gig, if I was making money and this was a full-time gig, I'd probably do 4 days a week. But I could see myself, even if this was a full-time gig and I was doing this 4 days a week, I would still try to do something else to make more money. Not because I'm crazy about money, but because there's nothing to say that content creation will keep going the way that it's going. Just be honest with you. You still need something more tangible, because it is the way you got it. You can lose it quickly. You can lose it just as quick. So the one thing that's been great about having a business is just being what you can save off of it. But that's if you know, you know. What are you guys saying? Grum said you've been doing contract primarily. Yeah, no, I get that. I get that. You write your own paycheck, man. You write your own ticket. And so long as they want to agree with it, you write your own ticket. I never. This, by the way, I've had, because I was out of the business for so long. Um, because most people don't know this. Most people don't know this, but some of y'all do who's been watching me long enough. I used to work production. I worked freelance in production. Before I ever got a contract gig, I was working freelance, working for production, and I did. I mean, I've done movies, I've done TV shows, I've done concert halls, I've done events, I've worked U.S. Opens, I've done a lot of different stuff on the production. Whether it's been tech, whether it's been a gaffer, whether it's been a key grip, whether it's been a stage manager or a stage manager assistant. Let me not say stage manager because I wasn't a full stage manager. Whether it's been a lighting designer, I've done a lot of stuff. But it's that aspect of you have to keep what you kill. Keep what you kill. No, not gay corn. That's never happened. That's never happened, Locksmith. I know you probably want to see some of those films, but that hasn't happened, sir. That's never been gay corn. The only I don't even have any. I don't even eat corn on the cob. How about that? That tells you how much there's no gay corn. I don't even eat corn on the cob. So, I mean, I did that for a while, for a long time, and then I actually started working for a 9 to 5, which never was a 9 to 5. It was always random hours, and I did that for many years before I quit. And then being on my own was just, it was difficult because I had to learn all those I had to relearn all those old skills. But now I was also older, and a lot of things came to me very quickly. But also I learned so much because I was working in the business of compliance for so long that picking up books and learning different things and reaching out to different areas of people that are in my life, because I built resources and rapport from people, helped me out. And then, you know, starting a, like, I don't know, like, this is the thing. This is the thing that people know, but they don't really jump on. Starting a business is easy. Maintaining it is the problem. Starting a business is really easy. Maintaining it, making it profitable, uh, building up all the stuff, whether you want to make yourself as the sole proprietor or make yourself an employee or hire other people, whichever route you want to go to, we're not here to talk about that. I'm not a financial expert for you. But a lot of people don't even get started. They don't even get started. You said love. Oh, this is the first time you see my setup? Oh, man. How long have I had this setup now? For about 2, 3, 4 weeks? I don't even remember now. I don't even remember. I'm all right. I love the fact that you like the new setup. Um, it's, oh, man. I agree, Grump. I've never liked punching a clock. I've made people jealous. I mean jealous. Jealous for walking in after them, doing what I gotta do, and then leave before they leave. And they're like, what is it that you do? And I go, the things that your company will not have you do. Because even if you did it, you still be stuck here. I'm gone. Now keep in mind, there are choices and trade-offs when it comes to these things. So for instance, you might get a stipend, which is always good. You may not. And it is what it is. You're running from contract to contract, so if they're really good at what you do and they really want to keep you on board because you actually do give them something good when it comes to their KPIs, cool, they'll keep you on. Just make sure you keep signing another contract. Don't do it like your rent lease. Oh, you got a lease, and then after you're done with your lease, you can just keep paying the bills, and then no, sign up another lease, sign another contract, so they don't do a rent hike on you. Because some of you guys don't pay attention to that. You guys you get somebody, you do a 1 year or a 2 year lease, and then after that, because you've been a good fucking tenant for so long, all of a sudden, oh yeah, no problem. Yeah, they're gonna have to go over a new lease. Just keep paying what you're gonna pay, and then all of a sudden one day, oh yeah, we gotta do a rent hike on you. Well, you don't have to worry about the rent hike if you had what? A lease that locks you in as to what the hell you're supposed to be paying. But you want to go with good faith. I hate to say, good faith when inflation hits is a biatch. Now, that's not to say every person is like this, but you gotta also build rapport with the people that you pay money to. And I mean like not just your yeah, here's the thing about that, Hoover. It is getting very, very difficult to own your own home. So you say, or just own your own home. Most people don't have the funds to put a down payment on a fucking home. Can we just keep it up? Can we keep it honest, Hoover? A lot of people are getting their homes from other people. No, you do. That's not most people. The majority of people do not have their own home. Majority of people live in houses that they're renting. They have houses that they're living in that they're fucking renting. They're not even trying to pay it off. They're literally being tenants living in a home. Banks and businesses are just trying to keep that shit out. The majority of people this day, I mean, Hoover, just look at the fucking market. The average homeowner, beginning homeowner in this day and age, are late 30s to early 40s. Owning a home early in your life, if it's not given to you from your parents, your grandparents, or whatever, the average homeowner is damn near 40. And that's if they have the money. Most people, by the way, Hoover, most people don't even have $65,000 for retirement. How the fuck are they gonna have a down payment for a home for almost a? By the way, and if they're here in New York, average home cost is between one. I'm being generous when I say one, and 4 million. If the average person doesn't even have $65,000 to retire on, and the average home cost is between to 3 to 5 million, where are they gonna get the down payment? Good luck finding a fucking house that's even close to like 300,000, 700,000. Good luck. A home? No. A trap house maybe. Not a home. The average home buyer is damn near 40. if not in their 40s, before they can own a house. And by the way, think about this. Think about this, Hoover. You buy a home in your 40s, right? You're locked into that home for 30 fucking years. You'll never pay that home off. You'll be dead. You'll never pay that home off. You're gonna be dead. You can't even give that home off to your offspring. You'll be dead. You'll never pay that fucking home off. A 30-year fucking mortgage in your 40s, you're gonna be dead. You'll never figure it out. No, Hoover, generational wealth is not over. It's not. It's not. The problem is that generational wealth, someone has to be the one to sacrifice it, and then the other people who have to come afterwards have to be the one to force it upon the people who are going to be the recipients. Generational wealth is not over with, because generational wealth simply revolves around money. It should include assets. It should, but it generally revolves around money. And the reason why I say that it revolves around money and not assets is because the ideal of the American dream has also changed. Having a home to just sit there, bear kids, is no longer the standard for the upcoming generations. Traveling, having fun, living a good life, that's what the current lifestyle is. Think about it. Our grandparents or great grandparents were able to buy a house basically fucking pennies on the dollars compared to what we have to pay for it now. What would you imagine is going to be like for our children or our children's children? Generation or millennials, Z for sure, and even Alpha are not even thinking about locking themselves in one place for 30 fucking years. They said, I rather travel, live life, and experience the world than to be locked in a single fucking plot, giving my money and getting nowhere. And I don't blame them. Why would I want to pay a 30-year mortgage on a fucking $4 million fucking plot? Just think about it this way. If you think about I know this is going to be a very difficult part. This is a lot of math. I'm not very good at math. But just think about it this way. Think about when you first started making money. Not when you were rich, when you first got your first job, you started making money. And then think about your age now. How many times do you think that you've earned and spent $1 million? Most people can say easily, yeah, I think I've spent over $1 million. Can you say that you spent over $2 million? What about $3 million? Do you think you've ever spent over $3 million in your lifetime? See, it's easy to say $1 million, but can you say that you spent over $2 to $3 million in your lifetime? See, now the math gets really hazy. Easily you can say, yeah, I know I spent over $1 million. I know I at least earned and spent over $1 million in my lifetime. Okay, well, what about 2 or 3? You're like, carry the 5. There was that time in Boca Raton. There was Mardi Gras. There was Cancun. Now you don't know. Now you don't know. You said this is what you've been saying in these debates with communists. Hmm. Yes, you can be a landlord and a renter. You can. Are all landlords parasitic? No. Are there definitely parasitic landlords? Yes. So, uh, I'm gonna say something. It's not gonna be nice. If my stream goes crazy, if my stream goes crazy and gets a little choppy, and you know why? The the landlords who have tried to screw me the most and have been the worst landlords, one of the worst landlords I've ever been with, have been the whoish people, the whoish people. Worst landlords I've been with. Cost me the most money and have been one of the worst landlords I've ever had. Any other landlord has been pretty decent. The landlord I have now, fucking phenomenal. Best landlord I've ever had in my life. Ever had in my life. The whoish people, worst landlords I ever had in my life. To this day. To this day. I'm just saying. Didn't have to be that way. Just I don't know what it is. Just I don't know. I don't want to say it's the nature of it. It just that's fucked up to say that. It's just I don't like it. It's just there's just no reason to be that way. It's my personal opinion. And this is the thing that we also have to worry about, right? We work so hard to have these things, right? And let's be honest. When we have offspring, we have children, and we have people that we want to leave it to, they don't understand. They don't appreciate. They will not acknowledge and appreciate the things that we've done to have the places. So let's just say you work so hard to make sure you got your little house. You got your little house, you got your little picket fence, you got your little backyard. You can smoke weed on your porch, whatever. And then you have kids, or you pass it down to I don't know the degenerate you fuck every Friday when your husband's not at home. Ladies, some of you guys know who I'm talking about. Tyrone that comes through, bust it out while your husband's at work at the breaking rocks at the quarry. Some of y'all know who he is. I ain't gonna you keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself. You ain't need to shout yourselves out. You don't need to shout out Tyrone or Glocktavius. You don't need to worry about that. But we know he's there, right? He's around. When it's time for you to go, when it's time for you to pass on, don't expect that your kids are going to understand and keep the house. So that means you put yourself down for 30 years. And let's be honest, after you had your 30 years, now that you only have property tax, you've probably been paying property tax for about 10 years if you're lucky. 10. 10 years. And then you die. And because your children, your offspring ain't shit, they're going to sell that shit within 2 to 3 years. Because they understand the value of money. They don't understand the value of property. Because they're going to suffer from the thing that, one, you didn't teach them, and two, that the education system tries to prevent them from knowing. And that is financial literacy. So if you don't take it upon yourself to teach your kids the importance and the value of having it, if you live in a little podunk town, they're going to leave that town. And when you're old and decrepit and you're like, I'm leaving this earth. I'm leaving it all to you. And your little daughter, who's now a grown woman, fighting it up as like the next Sex in the City, getting her fucking back broken in and her fucking guts shoved all the way up into her esophagus. She's like, I'm not gonna go back to that podunk town. Mama, daddy, when you die, I'm gonna sell that bitch because I could use me the money. I'm in debt. I'm gonna keep living with my girlfriends, my roommates. Don't you want to live here? I paid all this money. I got all the. Don't you remember you had some good times living here? How you grew up? Well, we had Christmas trees. Oh, Christmas tree. Oh, Christmas tree. And you know what she's gonna be thinking? But if you were my girlfriend, and be a shining star, the one to show you where you are. Selling the house, mama, for my girlfriends. That's what's gonna happen. Cause they're not gonna understand. They won't understand. And somebody who does understand that property, that house, that value, they're gonna buy it out from under them. And all that work, all that effort you spend, all that blood, sweat, and tears, all the mice that you don't shoot out of your property, all the random dogs pissing in your yard, all the nasty ass neighbors, all the little, the fucking, all the little dumb shit. Try to keep your shit from termites and buy new boilers and everything else. Like, all that shit is gonna go down the tube. They're not gonna move in. They're not gonna move in. So let me ask you, for those who are sitting there thinking about, well, I'm gonna buy this house and I'm gonna spend 30 years building on this house, and then after, you know what, I'm gonna get it all together, and then when I leave, it's gonna go all to my kids. My house. Do 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 do. My house. It's not our house, it's your house. Because when the time comes, they thinking, I'm leaving. So what could you have done with all that money? Spending on your house. What could you have actually done with it? What could you have actually done with it? Now keep in mind, there are benefits to having a house. Number one, unless you refinance, your mortgage don't change. You ain't got to worry about the rent hikes. If you paying $900, $700 for mortgage, you good. You good. I got a friend. I got a friend. Damn, where is he at now? He's in Oregon. I got a friend in Oregon. I don't know if he's still paying it, but he pays around close to $700 for a mortgage. I said $700 for a mortgage, my guy. Nigga, add a whole one in front of that 700, and then add $50 to it. That's my rent. $700, nigga. I beat a crackhead's fucking back in for fucking $700 of rent. If they said, wrestler, I'm willing to let you drop all the way to $700 of rent. I got a cousin. She never got laid, but she is a crackhead. If you beat the brakes off that pussy, we gonna make your rent fucking 700. You at 1750 right now. We about to be 700. You just gotta make sure you beat the brakes off that shit. Do you think you can take the challenge? I might be like, might have to talk to a couple people, but I'm not gonna lie, $700. I'm not even thinking about like how cute she is or not. I'm just like $700 for rent. I hate to say it, but times is just rough. Do you know how long it's been since I've actually paid for something less than $1,000? $700? Sounds kind of crazy. It sounds too good to be true. Sounds too good to be true. I can tell you this much. Locksmith will take her. He'd do it. 700. Flat 700. He'd do it. He beat that crackhead's back in. I got a feeling. And people just don't understand the times that we're in. Goddamn right. Like, listen, I hear that. I mean, it is what it is. Times is rough right now. It is what it is. I throw on a mask myself. I just be Zorro. I be blindfolded and just feel my way through it. Cause times is just like that. Something I was mentioning before, because like I've been thinking about that whole. Cause Mandani's fucking driving me crazy. He really is. He talks a lot, but he literally says nothing. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. I've been thinking about what we might talk about for our next session, and I was thinking either it's going to be later today, this evening, or it'll be tomorrow. I'm just trying to make sure I know exactly what I'm talking about, because I've got a few things in my head. I just haven't really settled on anything yet. And if I do settle on something, then I need to do a little bit of research before I talk about it. There is that as well. What are you guys saying? Because I see some comments running around in here. Oh, you guys up here debating over fucking mortgages? Listen, here's my thing. If you got a house, you should shut the fuck up. Unless you're renting, you should shut the fuck up. At least you got a house that you're aiming towards. Whether you make it to the point where it's paid off is another whole story. But at least you got a house. There are people who are paying way more than your mortgage, and they don't even have a house, yours included. Sitting here doing comparisons of what you pay and what you do for your uh-uh. Well, here's the thing, Yvette, if no one claims it, it has to go to somebody. If they don't touch it, it's not going to just be sitting in the ether. Someone's going to touch it. If it ain't your family, someone's going to claim it, because they're gonna look at it as abandoned. It ain't going to be sitting in the ether. The whole thing that nobody owns anything, yeah, somebody owns it. End of the day. So if your family don't touch it, they gonna take it. I think it's crazy for the people that actually do own homes that got scammed out of their homes. It's crazy. So even with a trust, if nobody touches it for too long, someone's gonna sit there and try to claim it. Worse if you get the people who squat. Oh, and people still fighting fucking case of people who squat in homes that were not lived in. Yeah, that doesn't really work. If you put it in a trust and then you have no one to pass it down to, trust me, it's gonna be taken. It's gonna be looked at as it's an abandoned trust. You can have your trustee. If there's no one to pass it down to, it's not gonna be sitting in limbo. They're gonna take it. So if you don't have kids or you don't have anyone who's a beneficiary, that house is gonna get taken over. That's exactly what I said. If you don't have a beneficiary, that house is gonna get taken. It will not sit in limbo. And you better hope that beneficiary doesn't die. So that means you better have a backup plan for that person too. So the government is really shady about fucking getting shit. They don't even go out of their own way to be like, you know what? We're gonna go look for the closest relative to you. No, that's not what they'll do. They'll scoop that shit up. Banks are the worst. Well, actually, the government won't really get into it as quick as banks would, because what they'll do is that they'll finesse the system to go past the trust because there's no beneficiary. And what they'll do is that they'll quote put it on auction, buy it out, and then they'll be the one to own it. That's how they do it. That's how they'll do it. People have lost their houses because their beneficiaries died. Even say, I'm gonna leave it to my grandchildren, right? Put that in the will, and then your children don't have children. Oh, well, then it goes to them. That's not the way it was written, and your children might even live in that home, but that's not the way how it's written. Oh my gosh! Like when I say the system is disgusting, and this happened to, by the way, Grump, this happened to a person who the mother left it to her son, talked about grandchildren, and her son is gay. Didn't even get married to a woman, but stayed gay. Like, just didn't have any kids. No other beneficiaries, so he decided that the bloodline was gonna end with him. Only son. Fucked up. What could you do though? I'm aware of that. Grump, most people won't understand it because most people cannot get a fucking house. So it's nice that you can mention that. Who can afford to get a house? Majority of Americans cannot get a house. Over 50% of Americans cannot afford a house. They can't even put down the money for a house. So it's nice. It's nice that you guys who actually got a house, majority of people cannot get a house today. They cannot afford to get a house today. That's why many people are waiting to see what happens when the fucking boomers go. We're waiting to see if there's some boomers that are slacking, because they're the ones that ate the fucking market up. And I'm not the person who'd be like, oh, boomers all bad, but boomers definitely fucked up a lot of shit. They are the most greedy generation for sure. And I worry because there are definitely some Xers that left that learned from them. But do I want to believe that every boomer setting something in stone? No, because there's plenty of boomers that were homeless or going paycheck to paycheck. But when we look at the market for housing, for all that shit, boomers are the ones that took it. Boomers and banks. So they're the ones who killed. People say, "Oh, it's the housing crisis. It's 2008. That's what killed us. That's why people can't fuck." No, 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 no. Now they were wrong for giving out all those subprime loans, those first-time homebuyer loans, willy nilly. You're right about that. But the fact of the matter is that the majority of places that actually had decent, affordable homes were taken up by fucking boomers who weren't even living in them. Businesses owning those homes. That's the thing people don't pay attention to. It's not the people themselves. They have themselves who own a home, and then they have businesses who own homes. And that's where other businesses got the ideal to get businesses to own homes. There used to be that banks and people were the only people that could own homes. When businesses started getting their hands on homes, places like say Amazon or whatever can move into a town and that was pretty poor and then buy up all the houses and then say you can come live over here and live in our houses. It's just the houses are provided to you by the company. The company actually owns the houses. You're just paying rent, not renting to own. You're just paying rent. That's what happened. That's what happened. And I can't say shit. Cause people sign up for that. I want to work at this company. I don't think you want to work at the company because they're doing so great or you love them so much or you're so loyal to. You're doing it because of how much money it is, but you're also paying for a place that the moment you get fired, you have to move out. It's no longer your home. You can't just keep contributing rent. The stipulation said as long as you work for the company, you can live there. When you get fired, you have to move. Now you got your kids and your wife and whatever. It's messed up. And that's happened. I can't quote you how often it's happened, but it's happened. Especially in small towns where the company moved in and started providing all the people jobs. Nah, I said Amazon, but I don't mean like Amazon's the person who did it. But there have been companies who did that. You said base housing for anyone who is military. You mean like okay? So you said base housing for anyone who's military, and my mind went immediately to houses on a military base. Do you mean is that the same thing, or are we talking about something different? Are we talking about something different, Grump? Because I do think that as well. If you are no longer serving in your military and you're on a military base housing kind of complex, yeah, you might have to leave. It's kind of fucked up, but it's the same. It would be the same premise, to be honest with you, if that's what you meant. Yeah, families. After Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I get that. I don't I don't like it, but I do understand it. I that's what military is something different for me. Um, I don't hold military to the same standards as a Fortune company coming in and taking housing. I don't hold them to the same way. To me, to me, there it should be a certain luxury, um, with your family when it comes to living, when it comes to working for the military. That's just the way how I look at it. There should be a certain luxury afforded with that for your family. Um, I don't hold the same premise for companies. I don't do that. Yeah, I don't really hold that same premise. Basic assistance housing to pay rent usually. I mean, yeah, that honestly that's outside of my wheelhouse when it comes to like military housing. That's really outside of my wheelhouse. I really couldn't tell you much about that. I couldn't even tell you that I know someone who works in real estate who would know more, who would know about military housing. I just that's a just totally different thing. But I hear about people moving all the time in the military families. They just move, but normally because they move from station to station. You know what I mean? Um, so therefore they don't stay in the same place because they keep moving station to station. But like that's why I said like military housing is something very unique. I don't think it's the average thing that people should look that average people are looking at. That's a very unique situation in my opinion. Because let's be honest, not even half, not even a quarter of the country is military. Not even a quarter of the country. So I think that's a very unique position to be in. If it was more of an average thing that we get, um, that could be contested or whatever, sure. But like, it's not. It really is not. And I'm damn for sure not going to no fucking lawyer to go up against fucking Jag and shit over fucking housing. Like it's, I'm not doing it. Like I'm not going up against no military fucking lawyers about where I need to stay if I'm no longer serving. Like that's just not happening with me. I'm just gonna be like, you know what? You got it. I knew I was leaving. I should have fucking prepared. That's it. I cannot expect to stay on a military base regardless of how safe and how nice the neighborhood is if I'm no longer working for said company, company, the U.S. government. So I get that. I just find it weird when other actual companies are coming out and doing these things, um, taking pretty much a page book from the military. I just don't think those things should be the same because serving your country and serving a company is not the same thing in my mind. Me personally, um, because unless you fuck up big time, you don't get fired from the military. You get disciplined, um, but you gotta fuck up enough times or whatever to get. The truth of the matter is that if a company's just not doing good, they can lay you off. I and keep in mind, Grump, you can let me know. Have you ever heard of the military just not doing so good that they laid people off? I don't know. I haven't served, but have you heard like you know what? We're just not as profitable as we can. You know the ROI is just not really working on the military, so we're going to lay some people off. Have you ever seen that in the military? Maybe you got to move you to another station or move you to another area, but like we just we just can't afford to keep you, so therefore we're gonna discharge you. Is that something that happens in the military? I don't know. I don't know. If it is, uh, I mean, you say yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, I haven't heard of it. I don't know. It's not really my wheelhouse. I've seen it for police stations, corporate for sure, but I've never heard of it. Like we're just letting you go because we can't afford you in the military. Yeah, if you fuck up, yeah, time to go. You know, I've heard of dishonorable, of course, and also honorable discharge. I've heard of that, but not like we just can't afford you because we got too many mofo's here, and we're just gonna drop you. That I haven't heard for the military. You say it's just bigger. It's just a bigger scope. Hmm. Well, okay, but that's different. Like, cutting re-up bonuses is not so like. So if somebody says, "You can cut my bonus," because they want to be a career military person, I mean, hmm, new retirement in 15 years. Oh, well, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. That's crazy. Okay, I didn't. I mean, 15. I'm sure people will love that. I mean, shit. Police is still 20 years. 20 years you got to put in. You say 15 years you get to retire at military. That's not bad. It's not bad. I'm not. I mean, you're still going. You still going to be a wreck when you get out. But 15 years is still not bad. I'm not gonna lie. So you can handle differently instead of it's like terminating individuals. You have to manage the chum. Okay. 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 It's an option. Like it's good, but it's technically retirement. Okay. Okay. I get it. You know what? Yeah, I get it because like I have heard of like military quote buying people out. It's very rare. It's a very rare discussion that I've ever heard, but I have heard of some instances where military will buy you out early. So very interesting. I've only heard of like two cases of it. So yeah, I guess so. I guess no, I guess the military just like will still run like a company. I almost didn't believe the people, but like as I gotten older, I was like, yeah, I guess that can be a thing. It can be a thing when I think about like how corporate runs. So if a corporate runs that way, military can run that way too. 50% of base pay for 20 years. Yep, 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 yep. And 70 at 30. Yeah, I know a guy I know like he was trying to get to that 30, but he quit around 27. He quit around 27. And I was like, damn, you almost up there, man. Um, 30 years doing anything that long is just it's rough. Yeah, you must really like what you're doing, or it must really pay a lot. Severance, yeah, I get that. Well, most places do the 20 to 24 years, even the 24 years have been basically dropping to 20. So when you said 15, I was like, 15 ain't bad, because most places I know like they do the 20-year mark now. Remember, back then it used to be like it was 27 years, then 25 years, 24 years, 20 years. It dropped, but you're saying 15. I'm like 15. 15 is not bad. I mean, you gotta last it, but 15 is not bad. And just like most people who I see that come out of the military, like they all have military benefits. All have military benefits. They're all on some sort of military benefits. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I mean, it's something for all that you sacrifice to be in there. I mean, even if you never really got to see quote combat, the things that the military does just to break you down, it's enough. I'm like, do what you got to do. I well, you're setting up for a whole new justice system every time you get a new person in office. You get a new commander in chief. That's a new justice system. There's really nothing around that. Like new people are coming all the time. Just new justice system. So like you're just there with the changing tide. And honestly, that's no different from any company. You work at a company and then a new CEO comes in and they want to change it around. You're like, new motherfucker. They want to change it around. I just gotta make sure I gotta learn it so I don't lose my job. So I get that. Uh, anyway, let me get out of here. Because if I plan on doing anything later tonight, then I'm going to have to figure out what I'm gonna do. Oh my god! And I need to take care of a couple of errands before those places start closing up. We're on 2:30 right now. So if anything, I probably will catch you guys later. We'll see how the day pans out. But yeah, yeah, that's pretty much gonna be it. But that's outside of that, man. I mean, hopefully you guys are okay with the stream. Everything was good, but we're gonna take off from here, and I guess I'll see you guys on the next one. Hopefully if I'm on later, you'll catch a notification, and we'll go from there. Later, y'all.